Hello again, my friends. We're in quarantine. Let me tell you a quick story as we move onwards. So see that wall there? That goes into Hogarth Park. Now, when I was 9-year-old, I was cutting through there because my dad stayed in quarantine and my mum stayed in High Hill. Now, if you know the history of those areas, the two areas used to fight. But because I loved them both, like a fool, I had to go between the two areas daily to deliver bread and love and all sorts of things. So I'd cut through that park, and I remember cutting through that park coming back from High Hill to see my dad at night. And it was a group of older boys, much older, 3 of them, and they grabbed me and they went, "Who do you fight for?" And I was like, "I'm just going to see my dad." "Aye, but where does he stay? Quarantine?" "Oh, well, that's the enemy." I was like, "Aye, but my mum stays in High Hill. Who do you fight for?" I was like, and they grabbed my wrist, and they were about to give me a tanking, right? And I was fast because I'm the faster master, and I bolted and I moved, but they were too quick. But I had a bag of toffees in my pocket and I threw them and they all scrambled for them, right? And I bounced off that wall, hurt my ankle, and a guy came by on a bike. He says, "What's up, wee man? What's up, wee man?" I said, "I just got attacked." He bounced up that wall. I don't know what happened after that. I hope he's all right, mate. Onwards, my friend. But that was the beginning of my life and childhood in there. It's all changed days now. Your Meyer side street and everything, place where the police would rarely even come in. When I stayed there with my dad, we had 180 broken windows, 3 new doors. The dog was injured with a very jaggy thing that I won't say on YouTube. My dad was injured with a very jaggy thing, which I won't say on YouTube. And we were attacked daily. No schools, no food banks, everything. So when your iPhones are packing in and your internet's down, remember the faster master's origin. And now it's all clad polystyrene. Wow. A modern prison, but that is quite nice looking. That is nicer looking. But aye, so that's Hogarth Park there, where the two gangs used to fight. I don't know if they still do, you know. I don't know if they still do, but it's they have a kind of monument up there. It's like a pyramid thing. Shall we go and see it? Shall we go and see it, my friends? Right, hold on. We'll jump over. I'm going to run. So stay with me. I know there's no faces here, so it's a wee bit boring. It's just me talking. But we're going to take a walk all the way up through quarantine and see what's happening. There used to be a pub here, by the way. I don't know what that is now, we'll find out. But there used to be a pub here. And it got demolished by hand. It got demolished by hand by the locals. I take it the price of beer was too high. Right, onwards, my friends. Now, the park looks different for the last time I seen it years and years ago. Oh, I wish I'd heard that. Wow, it's actually quite nice. I mean, see, for your bees and your butterflies, that's quite nice. I'm sure there's still people that come in here and drink. Friday night parties on in here. But aye, this is where they used to always fight. I don't know whether there's still issues. I don't know. Too busy trying not to have doctor's appointments and stuff like all the normal stuff, and been sick in my mouth. But did you see that there? It's the pyramids of the East End again. You thought it was a forge? Nah, there's the real ones. There's a little basketball court up there. Right, hold on. Right, let's see. Oh no, the grass is wet. Oh no, I'm gonna get muddy wee paws. I look mental. Just in general, right? Do you know what? I remember it being bigger. Oh, matron! Look at that though. I didn't remember it being much bigger, but I was much smaller. You get to the top, like Rocky Balboa and Rocky IV, and you shout your enemies. Thankfully I don't have any at the moment. But aye, there you go. Wow. I'm a geezer, climbing the geezer of the East End. There's a wee Egyptian joke there. Right, I'll get back out here and get back to our mission. I know it's a bit boring when it's just a guy running out of breath. Right. You're watching Jogging Simulator live on Glasgow Alive. Here, I just had a KFC, right? So one, I might be sick. But if you've ever been in the KFC in the Parkhead retail park, it's fine. All glass all round it, nice lighting. But see, if you need to use the toilet, for a pee obviously, they It's like a kind of screening process you need to go through. I ordered my food, sat down. After I finished, they went up, "Hi, can I use your toilet?" They says, "Oh, you need to buy something." I went, "I did buy something." "Oh, when was that?" I went, "I was sitting over there." She went, "What did you order?" And I went, "It was that woman that served me, didn't you?" And she went, "Oh, yeah, it was." And I'm like, you know, I get it. I get why they do that. Because of the location of it, people passing through and so on. But at the same time, do what McDonald's do. Put a code at the bottom of the receipt, get the management in the morning to change the door code. Takes 60 seconds, it's a digital door code. I've done hundreds of them. Sounds a bit dodgy, doesn't it? But I don't have the front of house staff that are on the lowest wage having to, you know, deal with that. They don't get paid to deal with that. Try to screen people. That's the management's job, upper management. So it's a quarantine medical centre. Wow. Right, look at that. They really don't want them getting out, do they? Wow, you don't want to climb all that fence thinking it's in line with the ground. So quarantine, oh, I've not been here for a long, long time, my friends. This is bringing back memories. So you're with me on me really remembering my childhood, and it was a useful childhood. I when I say it was it certainly wasn't a playful childhood. It's probably why I like to play so much now. But I did what is a train? What's that? Hold on, it might be a school. I'm not going to go back there if it's a school. But it was a playful childhood. Oh, sorry, it wasn't a playful childhood, but it was a useful childhood. Why? Me and my dad, we would walk along here and go to the local shops. Now there's a church or a chapel here if I remember correctly. Now bear in mind I didn't really go to school. See that there? Those pitches in that building? That's what I used to see every day. And I remember sitting at the window and drawing the tiles on that roof. Exactly, specifically, detail. And that was a horrible looking alley. That was a very therapeutic thing to do, just draw with finesse and detail as best I could. So yeah, you've got the, what is it, Catholic church. So these houses haven't changed at all. I'm going to walk over the other side because that's the direction that we always used to walk in. As soon as I walk in these footsteps, my father's footsteps, I know it'll jog memories. But my dad would never, he would never really settle or budge. Oh, it's a therapy session now. Well, somebody says to me, right, do talk about your history because it might help people, so fair enough. But my dad would never really back down to anything, which is a problem because sometimes, you know, you need to be like water, my friends, and don't bounce off the wall and stay there, go round it. If you really, really want to get to a better destination, i.e. a better environment for you and your family. But the ego and alcohol fuels the ego, can ruin that. What's a nice bit of grass, it's no use. So these shops over here, used to go there and used to get caps. Remember the caps or the cap guns and the wee things you used to throw, the wee kind of banger things? Water balloons when we used to actually have a summer when things seemed much, much brighter and light-wise. But it's not really changed much. There's actually, you know, less opportunities there by the looks of it. What's this? This looks pretty good. This looks pretty good. Tanning salon. Oh wow. Edinburgh. Wow, what a name for a tanning salon. Did you see the name of that? It's amazing. I'm not saying it, but did you see the name of that? There's I don't know what that is. But aye, there's a newsagent's up the top. And this is where my dad used to go. Used to be a fruit shop or something like that here as well. I think that'll all be gone. Hold on. But aye, the newsagent's up the top here. It used to be called Salim's. And it used to give my dad tick People who don't know, tick is like you can borrow some goods and pay it back later. So my dad would come in, it was the very top one, and he would give them tobacco and he would give them food, bread and milk and stuff like that. But he wouldn't give them alcohol, which was a good thing, you know. It really was. It was in there, which is now a hair salon, but he wouldn't give them alcohol because he was a decent guy, I think. He was giving people tick. He wasn't charging interest or anything like that on it. He was just giving them it because he knew they would get paid on a Wednesday and they were struggling. You need tobacco, that'll calm you down. You need some food, that'll feed your family. I'll get the money back. If I lose it, well, I'll not serve you again. Simple as that. But he was a good guy, and there used to be a fruit shop there. He used to sell fruit. Now, this is the thing, right? You've got two parents that are a bit chaotic, alcohol and stuff like that, but we always had good food, and we always, even if it wasn't tick, but we always used to have fruit and veg. We always used to have good food. My mum being a greengrocer, my dad being a butcher, until their life went off in a different direction. They started getting involved in dramas, their each own dramas, strong beliefs and opinions, but distracting them from values. What do you value? Do you value falling out with your family over some, you know, global issue like we had in 2020? Because you have a different opinion on various different utensils and things like that? Or do you still value their health, your health, and sense of freedom so that you're alright? Prisons are full of people with strong beliefs and opinions, aren't they? So for me, I got a good example, a perfect example to see two highly capable, highly loving people ruin their life in an environment, life over, before it was even over. Because they focused on beliefs and opinions rather than values. Whoa, what was that? Somebody throwing caps at me? Wow, right back to the past, I was just talking about them. But, so for me, that's my example. That's why I never get involved in strong beliefs and opinions. It's storytelling. We can motivate you to get closer to your values. A sense of freedom and health for me and the people I love. Whatever that means, but it doesn't mean arguing. It doesn't mean arguing. So, up the top here, if you're still with me, over that massive rant, is Quarantine Square, which is actually a circle. So, I don't know what's happening there, mate. But Quarantine Square, it used to be quite nice, because at the church we had a little charity sale, and me and my mum would go in there and look for wee bric-a-brac stuff. I learned all my verbal skills, convincing her to let me stay off school. Your day will be so much better, mum. Me and you can look at all the bric-a-brac in the church. All right then. But son, your attendance is 23%. Listen. Yeah, listen. The bric-a-brac. Onwards we went, my friends. So, but Quarantine Square used to have seating in it. And I don't know if you know, in the 80s, oh, there's a wee hammer, look. Wow. When you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail, doesn't it? Oh. Right. But I used to have seating in the middle of Quarantine Square, which is a circle. And that's where your alkies would sit and drink, just like your Brigton Cross. And it wasn't a bad environment because it's very open. So it wasn't secluded. It did have public toilets, which were in use as well. So let's see if the public toilets are there. Let's see if they've made the square an actual square. And well, there's some alkies there. In the 80s it was much more alcohol driven, I think. Nowadays it's much more other substances intermingling. Here, maybe that's why the KFC woman didn't let me in. I'm thinking, well, she did let me in the toilet, but maybe I'm thinking they just didn't see me buying food. Maybe that's not it. Maybe I look like a junkie. Do I? I'm dressed a bit a photon assassin-y. There's your Parkhead Forge board. There they go, bus, you got to see Parkhead boy. Anybody who doesn't know that, Parkhead boy is a very loyal and kind member of Faster Master TV. What a legend he is. Provides support and comfort. I'm so sorry when I was in Parkhead I never buzzed you up, mate. I'm always buzzing a bit. So if you continued on, you would get to Cranhill and then Easterhouse. And if you went down that way, you would get to Greenfield and Shettleston, then Tollcross. if you went up the way, you would get to Barrel, you would get to Barlinnie. The one place in Glasgow you don't want to end up. That's the clickbait thumbnail title. So there's your Quarantine Square, which is a circle, of course. There's a retirement home over there. Little newsagents, the church. I used to do the bric-a-brac. Thank you for your service and keeping me off school pretty much every Wednesday. Wow, it's changed now. There's the public toilets I was talking about. It's turned into a very narrow, long nightclub. They've removed the chairs. You can see the chairs used to be there. Me and my mum would sit right there. She'd crack open a can of Tennant Super, start talking about the past and emotions and feelings. Useless. I want to hear about actions, problem solving, what we're going to do about it. What we're going to do about this. The rain's coming down, but tomorrow, baby, the sun's going to be shining. Look, toilets abandoned. Now this optician's here. That's been there as long as I can remember. I went there, oh, don't die. I went there when I was, my first pair of glasses, when I was about 7, came out of there. Neil Leslie, great optician. He used to get really close to your face, but I know he needs to, right? But when you're in the dark, right, oh, sorry for the wind, when you're in the dark and you can see a torch in your eye and then all of a sudden you feel something brushing your cheek and it's Neil's moustache. You're like, mate, that's a wee bit close. A wee bit close, mate. But listen, he had to do his job right. He was very thorough. Mate, your lip feels like a toothbrush. So this is Edinburgh Road, fondly shortened to Eddie Road. Post office, you'll be gone in about 6 months, no doubt. But aye, do you know, if you cycle, this is an amazing road to cycle. You can just speed right along it. Obviously legally, a motorbike right along it, big straight road, a lot of trees. But aye, as you move up this way, that takes you up to Barrel. You maybe not see on this camera, but you can see the chimneys. I can see the chimneys. The chimneys are up there of Barrel, which is apparently getting closed down and turned into a museum of pain and suffering. Right, my friends, so that's Quarantine. Now I know you can go all the way into the back ends and streets and housing estates. I'm not too keen on filming in housing estates, people's windows and closes, no, it's a wee bit too personal, because people have got their lives within there, their gardens, their families and stuff like that. I know there's gardens here, I know, but you know what I mean. But thank you so much for joining me. What is happening with the weather? Honestly, I was looking to, I thought you just finished talking, mate. No, sorry, I'm going to continue, right? I was looking to book us somewhere to go a wee bit different, somewhere warm and sunny, just for a couple of days. The prices have all doubled. It's not feasible. So we're here in Glasgow and we're going to walk it. Many schemes, many areas, and we'll check out food places and drink places as well. But thank you so much, my friends. I very much appreciate you all the love and the comments, and I'll catch you very soon.